Why, hello there YouTube, and welcome to a Who review, the first one in bloody ages, and I'm finally back with, well, like I said, Who reviews. So, today I review Doctor Who, The Waters of Mars. So, this is a 2009 autumn special, set in the year 2059, so 40 years from now. The Doctor goes to Mars for a walk around and then discovers that there is a small base on Mars, and discovers that there's a whole crew, and the Doctor knows who they all are. And they're all led by Captain Adelaide Brooke, played by Lindsay Duncan. And then, as the Doctor arrives, he realises that this is a fixed point in time, and that something bad happens here, and he has to go, and he can't see it to the end. But then the Doctor discovers that in the water supply that they have on Mars, the water infects the humans with this infection that cracks their lips, makes their eyes milky, and makes them all soaking wet, being the Flood. That's what the monster is called, the Flood. And there's nothing the Doctor can do to help them, and the Doctor even tells them it's a fixed point in space and time. And the Doctor then has to go, and he tells Adelaide that he has to go, he must leave, because it's a fixed point in time, he can't see it to the end. But then, after having a bit of a revelation, he then thinks he's alive for a reason. And then he believes that the laws of time are his, and they will obey him. And at that point, the Doctor then has a bit of a thing where he then thinks, I'm not just a survivor of the Time War, I'm the winner. And after Adelaide accepts her fate that her death is a fixed point in time and space, and she was meant to inspire her granddaughter to go into space, but the Doctor tells her, no, you can inspire her in person now. She takes her own life. And the Doctor does meddle with time and changes the events of that day in 2059. Even though it's something that hasn't happened yet, it just shows that, even future events that are yet to happen, are fixed in time. So, let's get on to... oh, and also, before it ends, the Doctor even has a signal from the Ood telling him that he must come. Yes, Ood Sigma, at the very end. Now, of course, that is the beginning of the end for the 10th Doctor, that his regeneration is near, and yeah, that's what this were. It was the beginning of the end, with a very small gap. It was a big gap between the previous special and then the Christmas, and this autumn special. Then it wasn't as long for the Christmas special. But, yes, The Waters of Mars. So, let's get on to my likes and dislikes about this one. So first of all, this episode is nearly 10 years old. We're going to wait about until November to review this, but I thought, I can't. It's a good episode and I want to review it. And I thought, rather wait 10 years, wait till November to review this for its 10th anniversary. I thought, I'll review it now. So, yeah, I liked this episode. I liked how dark it was. You see, the previous special was a bit light-hearted, a bit happy, a bit energetic, but this one, they really toned it down to really dark aspects, and it was scary too. I have to admit, it was a scary and unsettling episode, especially with the Flood. It's like, if you touch the water, if you had even a little drop on you, you would become infected with this, and that is quite scary, knowing that there's no way back. You can't be cured. You become a water-like zombie, and that is, like I say, it was unsettling, and there was nothing the Doctor could do even. But he did intervene and meddle with time. I also liked the supporting cast we got in this, of Adelaide's crew. I even liked the character of Adelaide, played by Lindsay Duncan, who put up a great performance in this special. She was the companion for this episode, and yeah, I liked her character development. I also liked her reason for going out into space. And it was all from the Dalek invasion, when the Daleks took the Earth. And it was back, around the events of Series 4 finale, the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Adelaide was like a 10-year-old girl, and she remembers seeing a Dalek face to face. She never saw her father or her parents again, but she saw that Dalek, and then the Dalek flew away, because that Dalek could see her fixed point in time. But the Doctor tells her that her death doesn't go in vain. It inspires her granddaughter, and she goes off into space and, helps expand the universe with humans. But the Doctor, his heroism gets the better of him, and not only that, I think he goes a bit mad with power. With the fact that he's been moping about his losses over his reign as the 10th Doctor, and he's decided enough. I'm the Doctor, I'm a Time Lord, I'm a Lord of Time, I'm going to help these people whether they like it or not. And he does see the consequences of his actions. I thought David Tennant as well put up a great performance in this. His penultimate ever story, how he was like the cheerful, chappy Doctor we knew him as. But then he takes a really dark turn in personality when he decides he's going to help Adelaide and her crew. And yeah, David Tennant was fantastic in this. I also liked the Flood. I've already told you the Flood is scary. But I also liked the story and the effects they had for this. And yeah, it was a good special with good horror elements in there. My dislikes, I guess I don't really have much to dislike. There is a little robot droid in it too called Gadget, who's like, Gadget. And the Doctor uses it to operate the TARDIS when he wants the TARDIS to come to him, because he can't touch the water either, because the Flood have got waterfalls are all over the whole station, so no one can leave. But the little robot Gadget can, because it's a robot, and he manages to operate it like a little puppet to bring the TARDIS back to him. Yes, and of course they were no survivors meant to be in that point in time, and even Adelaide tells the Doctor that he should have left them there, and angered by the Doctor telling him that he's wrong, he shouldn't have done this, and she then takes her own life. I thought the ending to this episode was really dark. It had a bright beginning, and then during into the middle act it went dark and scary and almost horror-like. But then the ending just went really bleak and really dark, and Doctor Who doesn't do enough of that. Well, I'd not seen anything like it in Doctor Who at the time, where it was all dark. The ending was really dark, as I've said already, and brutal. And this was a great penultimate performance from David Tennant as his Doctor. My final thoughts and ratings. So, The Waters of Mars I thought was a well-written episode, but not just by Russell T Davies, but also co-written by Phil Ford. And I do think that this is a bit underrated, because I never hear enough people talk about this episode and its scare factor. So I enjoyed The Waters of Mars, so I'm going to give that I'm giving Doctor Who The Waters of Mars a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 for Doctor Who The Waters of Mars. So that's it for this Who review, the first Who review in a while. I have, like I said in my channel update, I have been busy, but I'm back now reviewing stuff. I have another Torchwood Tuesday planned, so I'll be doing that. So yes, I have been Davros the Whovian, and this has been my Who review. So until next time, run for your life.